Your alarm goes off, and a simple question decides your entire day. Do you walk before breakfast or do you walk right after? Most people think the answer barely matters at all. They believe movement is movement, no matter when it happens. But your body disagrees, quietly and completely, every single time. The same walk, done at two different moments, tells two different stories. One story is about burning fat while nothing sits in your stomach. The other is about protecting your blood vessels the instant food arrives. Different hormones wake up depending on which story you choose to tell. Different fuels get pulled from different places inside your body. And the long-term outcome for your metabolism can shift dramatically because of it. Today, we are stepping inside your body, minute by minute, system by system. You will see exactly how blood sugar climbs after a normal meal. You will watch your pancreas scramble to keep insulin under control, and you will discover why 10 minutes at the right moment beats 30 at the wrong one. Here's the part that should make you feel hopeful instead of anxious. Your body is not sabotaging you, no matter how it sometimes feels. It is responding with total precision to the signals you send it daily. Once you understand timing, you stop needing extreme diets or brutal workouts. You simply start cooperating with biology instead of constantly fighting against it. Stick with this because by the end, everything gets turned into simple steps, steps you could realistically use tonight, tomorrow morning, and every day after that. Picture yourself stepping outside before you have eaten a single bite. Your body does not read this as ordinary, throwaway movement. It reads it as a signal loaded with meaning and urgency. No food is coming in, yet your muscles are already demanding energy. When those two facts collide, your body reaches for a smarter strategy. It can't just burn quick sugar because quick sugar is not available. After a night of sleep, insulin is sitting low and unbothered. Liver glycogen, your short-term sugar reserve, is present but already thinning out. It was never built to power a long walk on its own. So hormones like glucagon and cortisol step in and send one message. Go to storage, they say, and storage means the fat on your body. The instant your legs start moving, muscle contractions become urgent requests for fuel. Your body answers by unlocking fat cells through an enzyme with a long name, hormone-sensitive lipase, and its job is releasing fatty acids into your blood. Those fatty acids travel to working muscles where mitochondria burn them for energy. Burning more fat during one walk is honestly the smaller part of this story. The bigger story is what your body quietly learns from repeating this pattern. Low-intensity walking, done often in a low insulin state, trains your mitochondria. It teaches them to use fatty acids with real efficiency over time. Mitochondria increase in number, fat-burning enzymes multiply, and your system becomes adaptable. This adaptability has a name, and the name is metabolic flexibility. It means your body slides smoothly between burning carbs and burning fat. A flexible body like this stores less fat and craves food less often. It holds steadier energy across the entire day without dramatic highs or crashes. Over weeks and months, these shifts stretch far beyond how your body looks. As your body gets comfortable using fat between meals, something else changes too. Energy crashes fade, dizziness fades, and that false, sudden hunger fades along with them. Your brain benefits too, running on a steadier supply of fatty acids and mild ketones. People often describe feeling lighter and sharper, and here's the honest reason why. It's not because they're pushing harder or trying more forcefully. It's because their biology is finally functioning exactly as it was designed to. This is exactly where a lot of people get the idea wrong.
Fasted walking was never meant to be a willpower contest or a punishment. Turning it into sprinting or long, grueling sessions changes the entire equation. Stacking that on top of chronic stress and poor sleep changes it further still. Cortisol gets pushed past the point where it is actually helpful to you. Excess cortisol reads as a threat, and your body responds the way threats demand. it gets defensive, and it often starts holding on to fat around your midsection. This is exactly why the same routine can feel amazing for one person and feel utterly draining and depleting for someone else entirely different. The deciding factor is never the walk itself, but its intensity and its context. A relaxed, conversational pace for 15 to 20 minutes changes everything for the better. Do this when your body feels rested, not running on empty already. Cortisol rises just slightly, enough to help mobilize energy without triggering real stress. Your body senses movement, but it does not sense danger anywhere nearby. Seen this way, walking before eating becomes more like a gentle conversation. It is not a command you are barking at your own body. You are simply telling it to use stored energy wisely and stay adaptable. Pay attention to how you feel, because your body is always giving feedback. Clarity and calm are one kind of answer. Fatigue and anxiety are another. Learning to read that difference is not weakness, and it never was. It is genuine respect for how intelligent your own body actually is. Now flip the scenario and imagine you have just finished eating a full meal. From the outside, everything looks calm, unremarkable, completely uneventful to anyone watching. Internally, though, a real metabolic peak is already building fast beneath the surface. As carbohydrates break down, glucose rushes into your bloodstream at real speed. Within 30 to 60 minutes, blood sugar can leap from around 90 upward. It can climb to 160, 180, or sometimes even higher than that. This post-meal spike is not some harmless, forgettable little blip in your day. Every sharp rise in blood glucose triggers oxidative stress inside your body, quietly. It nudges low-grade inflammation upward and stresses the lining of your blood vessels. This happens quietly, even in people who have never been told they are diabetic. The real issue here has never been the sugar itself, but the timing. After eating, that glucose needs to leave your bloodstream quickly and efficiently. Under normal conditions, insulin acts like a key, letting sugar move into cells. But if you stay seated, your muscles have almost no urgent demand for fuel. Muscles are your body's biggest glucose consumer, and idle muscles respond sluggishly to insulin. Your pancreas compensates by pushing out more and more insulin, trying to force the issue. Blood sugar lingers longer, insulin climbs higher, and metabolic stress quietly builds. This is the exact moment where a short walk becomes a genuinely smart intervention. The moment you stand and start walking gently, something shifts almost immediately. Every muscle contraction opens a pathway that has nothing to do with insulin. Contraction switches on AMPK, your cell's internal sensor for available energy. Once AMPK activates, it moves glucose transporters to the surface of your muscle cells. These transporters act like open gates, pulling glucose straight out of your blood. Instead of lingering in circulation, that sugar becomes usable fuel right away. Timing is what makes this mechanism genuinely powerful rather than just theoretical. Research has shown that 10 minutes of walking right after eating outperforms delayed walking. Even 30 minutes of walking started 30 minutes late cannot fully catch up. The reason is straightforward, because by then the glucose spike has already happened. Walking late only cleans up a mess that has already been made. Walking immediately intercepts the glucose the moment it enters your bloodstream at all. People who walked right after eating showed a lower peak in blood glucose. They showed a smaller total glucose burden across the following 2 hours as well. Just as telling, they reported feeling more comfortable and noticeably less fatigued afterward. No one reported extra stomach discomfort, which challenges an old, stubborn assumption directly. The old belief said movement after meals disrupts digestion and should be avoided. In reality, gentle walking supports intestinal motility and eases that heavy, bloated feeling. The benefits of this small habit stretch well past any single meal. When post-meal walking becomes routine, your body adapts on a deeper level. Muscle cells grow more insulin sensitive, and insulin receptors start working more efficiently. Long-term blood sugar control, the kind measured by HbA1c, begins to improve. That improvement translates into lower cardiovascular risk and better protected blood vessels in the brain. It even lowers the risk of cognitive decline as the years go by. A 10-minute walk after meals is quietly protecting both your heart and brain. More than anything, walking right after eating sends your body one clear message. This incoming energy is needed now, so please put it to work immediately. Repeat that message daily, and your metabolic system learns to handle glucose smoothly. It relies less on huge insulin surges and suffers fewer dangerous blood sugar swings. None of this demands extreme discipline, intense training, or a total lifestyle overhaul. It simply asks for the right action, offered at the right moment. Your body is never betraying you when blood sugar rises after a meal. It is waiting patiently for guidance, and sometimes guidance is refreshingly simple. 10 minutes of gentle movement, delivered right when it matters, can be enough. There is one question that stops so many people before they even start. Won't moving right after a meal cause stomach pain, reflux, or real discomfort? That belief has been repeated for decades, passed down without much real evidence. Modern research actually points in the nearly opposite direction from that old fear. Gentle movement after eating shifts your digestive system into an active, working phase. Your stomach breaks food down, your intestines absorb nutrients, and everything keeps moving. In this context, light walking is not disruption, it is genuine support. Rhythmic movement stimulates peristalsis, the wave-like contractions that push food along your gut. When peristalsis works smoothly, food stops stagnating in one spot for too long. That alone reduces bloating, gas, and the heavy, sluggish sensation after big meals. People often blame the food itself for that sluggish feeling afterward. More often, the real culprit is simply too much sitting, not the meal. Light walking helps gas move through your intestines more efficiently and comfortably. The key factor in all of this is intensity, not the act of moving. Your body was never built for sprinting immediately after a heavy meal. Vigorous exercise pulls blood flow away from digestion and toward working muscles instead. Slow, relaxed walking, where your breathing stays easy, creates no such competition at all. It keeps circulation steady enough for digestion and steady enough for gentle movement. People who walk lightly after meals do not report more stomach discomfort. Many actually feel noticeably better than the people who stayed seated the whole time. That post-meal heaviness fades, mental clarity returns, and the familiar food coma softens. This is not some placebo effect dressed up as science. It reflects real improvements in glucose handling and smoother, more efficient digestion. So if there's one single rule worth remembering here, let it be this: keep it gentle, because no running, no pushing, and no forcing a workout.
Think of it as a bridge from eating into digesting, nothing more dramatic. A slow lap around your home, a short stroll outside, that is genuinely enough. Simplicity like this signals safety to your body, and safety is what digestion needs. Walking is one of the safest, most natural movements a human body can do. Even so, not every strategy fits every single body in the exact same way. The difference comes down to your hormones, your nervous system, and your health history. Knowing who should lean into a strategy and who should not genuinely matters here. Fasted walking is a powerful metabolic tool, but it is not right for everyone. Some groups should avoid it entirely or only try it under medical guidance. Pregnant or breastfeeding women need steadier energy and glucose than fasted walking allows. People with a history of eating disorders can find fasted exercise reactivating old patterns. Anyone with type 1 diabetes faces real risk from unpredictable fasted blood sugar swings. People dealing with adrenal dysfunction or chronic, prolonged stress need extra caution here too. In those bodies, cortisol may rise too far and push things into a defensive state. That does not mean movement itself is wrong for these situations at all. It means timing and context deserve far more attention than they usually get. Walking immediately after eating, by contrast, suits nearly everyone across ages and fitness levels. It stays gentle, avoids creating energy deficits, and does not provoke a stress response. It directly supports blood sugar control and smoother digestion for almost any body. Even beginners or people managing metabolic risk usually find a 10-minute post-meal walk perfectly safe. The smartest question is never which method is objectively the best one overall. The smartest question is which method actually fits your body, right now, today. Biology does not run on rigid, universal rules that apply to every person equally. A strategy only helps when your body feels safe enough to actually adapt. Think of movement as an ongoing conversation between you and your own biology. If fasted walking brings you clarity and steady energy, it may genuinely suit you well. If it leaves you shaky or drained, that is useful information, so pause. With post-meal walking, the advantage is simplicity itself, nothing more complicated needed. Your body does not need force in order to heal or improve. It needs to be listened to, consistently and without judgment attached. All this science means very little if it cannot fit into a real day. The genuinely good news is that none of this demands drastic change or heroics. It does not require rigid discipline or some burst of unusual motivation either. The application here is almost boringly, refreshingly simple, and that is exactly the point. After each meal, all you really need to do is stand up and walk. 10 minutes is enough. No fast pace required, and no working up a sweat. Walk around your home or take a short, easy stroll through your neighborhood. Move slowly while listening to music or pace gently during a phone call. That is genuinely enough to catch glucose right as it enters your bloodstream. It is enough for your muscles to signal that this incoming energy is needed. Those 10 minutes were never really about burning a meaningful number of calories. They're about protecting your vessels and easing the burden on your insulin. They're about smoothing out the entire curve of your blood sugar response. As for walking before breakfast, think of it as optional, never mandatory. If you slept well, feel calm, and sense your body is genuinely ready, try it. A gentle 15 to 20-minute walk can help kickstart fat burning and flexibility. But if you wake up exhausted, stressed, or anxious while fasted, skip it entirely. There is no hidden reward waiting for you if you push through that discomfort. Biology does not respond well to force, no matter how well-intentioned it is.
It responds to the right signal, delivered at the right moment, nothing more. The whole philosophy here comes down to one simple idea: cooperate instead of fighting. You do not need to prove you are tougher than your own body. You only need to place your body in the right context to thrive. After eating, give it the chance to actually use the energy coming in. Before eating, move only when your body genuinely feels safe enough to do so. Real sustainability comes from a practice that does not drain you over time. Remember that walking is not a workout, it is a biological signal you send. Sometimes the smallest signal, 10 minutes after a meal, creates the biggest shift. A separate question comes up constantly, and it deserves its own honest answer. Why 30 minutes specifically, and isn't 10 or 15 minutes already enough on its own? The answer sits in metabolic timing, not in some arbitrary round number. Your body does not flip over into fat-burning mode instantly when you start. It needs time to transition, the way an engine needs time to warm up. During the first 10 to 15 minutes, most of your fuel still comes from glucose. Glucose is available immediately, so your body prioritizes it first, out of pure efficiency. Insulin is still exerting some influence, especially if your glycogen stores are well stocked. This early phase is genuinely great for circulation and cardiovascular health overall. It is simply not yet the zone where fat burning truly dominates. Somewhere around the 20 to 30-minute mark, a real shift starts happening. Insulin drops and settles at a lower, steadier level throughout your bloodstream. Hormones like glucagon and adrenaline become more dominant, pointing your body towards stored fat. At the same time, oxygen consumption reaches a steady, dependable state inside your body. That steady oxygen supply matters because fat oxidation genuinely depends on oxygen availability. With consistent oxygen delivery, mitochondria burn fatty acids efficiently and can sustain that burn. This is the point where your body settles into a real, stable fat-burning rhythm. Lipolysis intensifies here, meaning stored fat gets released at a faster rate. Inside fat cells, triglycerides break down into free fatty acids and glycerol. An enzyme called hormone-sensitive lipase drives much of this breakdown process forward. Those fatty acids enter your bloodstream and travel toward active muscles for fuel. One important clarification matters here because fat cells do not simply vanish, they shrink instead, as their stored energy gradually gets used up over time. This explains why consistent daily walking leads to a leaner, firmer body gradually. It happens without drastic weight loss or the loss of hard-earned muscle. Beyond fat itself, daily 30-minute walks train your body to reach fat burning faster. After several weeks, that shift may start occurring earlier than the 30-minute mark. That earlier shift is a real, measurable sign of improved metabolic flexibility over time. So 30 minutes is not some magic number pulled out of thin air. It is a meaningful biological threshold where your body moves from easy fuel to sustainable fuel. 10 minutes after meals does wonders for blood sugar control specifically and directly. But for long-term fat reduction and mitochondrial health, 30 daily minutes matters more. It remains one of the safest, simplest foundations you can build for yourself. When you walk for around 30 minutes, the deepest changes reach far past your waistline. They happen in your brain, your nervous system, your hormones, and your immune function. This is exactly why so many people feel calmer and clearer before any weight changes. The brain responds surprisingly fast, faster than most people would ever expect. After roughly 30 minutes of rhythmic walking, serotonin and dopamine production both increase.
These neurotransmitters are tied closely to well-being, motivation, and steady emotional balance. This is not a sharp jolt like caffeine delivers to your system. It is a smooth, quiet clarity that eases irritability and speeds up stress recovery. For many people, an evening walk becomes their most natural form of stress relief. At the same time, walking boosts BDNF, often nicknamed fertilizer for your brain. BDNF supports new neural connections and helps protect existing neurons from age-related decline. It also enhances memory and learning capacity in ways few other habits can match. Higher BDNF levels are linked to a lower risk of cognitive decline later in life. That is a benefit no supplement bottle on any shelf can genuinely replicate. On a deeper level, daily walking helps quiet chronic inflammation throughout your entire body. Chronic inflammation is a root contributor to heart disease, insulin resistance, and faster aging. Gentle, sustained movement lowers inflammatory markers and improves how your blood vessels function. You may never consciously feel inflammation decreasing day to day inside your body, but your body reflects it anyway through steadier energy and noticeably faster recovery. Another major benefit is improved insulin sensitivity that lingers well after the walk ends.
Your muscles stay more insulin sensitive for hours once a walk is finished. That means your next meal gets handled more efficiently, with less insulin required. Every single walk you take smooths out your metabolic response for the rest of the day. Finally, walking helps stabilize ghrelin and leptin, the hormones that govern hunger and fullness. When those signals normalize, your appetite becomes more accurate and far less impulsive. You start eating because you are genuinely hungry, not because of stress or fatigue. This is exactly why eating habits often improve naturally after weeks of consistent walking. In short, 30 minutes of walking does so much more than simply burn fat. It calms your brain, supports long-term cognitive health, and reduces inflammation throughout your body. It improves metabolic control and helps restore hormonal balance across your entire system. This is a gentle yet genuinely powerful biological intervention, not a forceful one. It helps your body return to its natural balance instead of forcing change through stress. Walking is never just a simple physical activity you check off a list. It is a powerful biological signal, and timing decides exactly how your body reacts. Walking before eating acts like metabolic training for your entire system. It teaches your body to burn fat and strengthens mitochondrial efficiency over time. This approach works best when your body feels rested, calm, and genuinely ready to adapt. Walking immediately after eating, on the other hand, functions more like active protection. It blunts blood sugar spikes, eases low-grade inflammation, and safeguards your blood vessels. It relieves your pancreas from an excessive, exhausting insulin demand meal after meal. Just a few minutes at the right moment can translate into lasting cardiovascular and brain benefits. Both approaches are genuinely valid, but they exist to serve different purposes entirely. There is no single universal best method that works identically for every person. What matters most is choosing the timing that actually fits your body right now. That timing may be the single most underestimated lever in all of metabolic health. If there's one lasting takeaway here, let it settle in fully. Stop asking whether you walk enough and start asking whether you walk at the right time. When you begin working with your biology instead of constantly fighting it, real change follows. It follows naturally, sustainably, and without the exhausting struggle so many people expect.